Good morning, everyone. This is Reverend Elizabeth Mora coming to you from Unity Northwest Church. Happy Sunday to you. It's a bright Sunday. Everyone is already commenting how beautiful it is to see the sun out there on December 20th, 2020. Welcome to everybody who's watching us live this morning, and a special welcome to those who are watching us sometime in the future. And if this is your first time watching, I'm noticing that as I'm standing, I look like I have a steeple coming straight out of my head. There we go. I'm going to move a little bit this way so it doesn't look quite so odd. It's great to see you. It's going to be another Sunday of costume changes. So sometimes I'm just going to add something to the apparel. So right now I'll add this. So we've got a little bit of that, and make sure that you notice there's subtle things like bracelets and earrings that you might not see as readily. And then this is sweater number 1, costume change, the first costume. I hope that maybe some of you are wearing some fun things at home today with your pajamas or whatever you're wearing. Send me pictures. I love pictures of Christmas accoutrement. And just to make our opening fun, we'll start off with an instant costume change. There we go. So it's great to see you all this morning on this beautiful Sunday. As we count down our Advent season, we are getting there, aren't we, folks? We are just a few days away from our beloved Christmas. And if you are new to Unity Northwest Church, or you haven't been around for a while and you'd like some more information, please just pop on to your email account and send us your email and let us know that you'd like a little bit of information. We would be happy to send you a little welcome packet that we've got for everybody online. And for everybody who's part of our church service, this is a great way to keep in touch with us through our email account, which goes straight to Betsy, and it lets us know what's going on out there. So if you ever have any questions or want information or need some support of any kind, just give us a call at the office, numbers on the webpage, or send us that email. And let's go ahead then in this spirit of Christmas and continue to check in with us online. Most of you already are. We've got lots of good mornings coming from people. So let's keep it going. Check in with each other as you'd like. And as we do this, I'm going to bring on my trusty assistant, Chris. Welcome, Chris. Good morning. Let's see. Think I've got you on mute. Hold on, let me unmute you. Or maybe you are mute. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday.
Great to see you. Should we do it?
Sure.
There we go. So Chris is going to help me with our opening prayer and our invocation and our reading from the Advent booklet. It's great to have you with us, and you'll be back for our announcements later. And everybody can comment on the haircut. So let them know.
This was my my response to COVID fatigue. I just said, I'm tired of all the hair cuts.
There you go. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start by praying in. As we gently turn that attention within for our morning prayer, our Sunday morning special time where we get together with those we love, those who are on a similar spiritual path, to remember the truth, to strengthen it in our life, to get the inspiration that carries us through. What a sacred moment. Prayer, a turning towards that which is divine. Consciously choosing God in our life. And that's what we do here at Unity Northwest. We choose God. We put God first in all things. We put the principles of love and truth and joy in all things. Thank you for doing that today. Take a moment to appreciate yourself and the fact that you are here and that you are standing up for what you know works in your life, for what you know is your purpose here. To hold the sacred, to look beyond appearances, and to experience the birth of the Christ in you every day, every moment. The birth of something new, something greater and grander that's always been there. And now it comes forth. In this Christmas season, we are one, all of us. We are one, united in the truth that the Christ is at the essence of all of us. And for this and so many truths, we are so grateful. And we say, Amen and Amen.
All right. And now, using the words of Charles Fillmore, let's say the invocation expressing our faith. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and your power, O blessed Spirit. In your divine wisdom, now erase my human limitations, and from your pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to your perfect law. Amen. And the Advent reading for this week is actually tomorrow's. It again spoke to me. When the light of the Advent candle for joy, or when we light the Advent candle for joy, we remind ourselves of the spiritual truth of the season. Unto us a child is born. In telling the Christmas story, the gospel writers remind us that when things seem darkest, joy can come in unexpected places and small packages. Children remind us of the joy of playing, of giving, learning, and loving. In the presence of such joy, our inner child can awaken our Christ nature, and then the Messiah is truly born. Christmas is not an event that happens only in December, nor 2,000 years ago in Palestine. Christmas happens as we open to the possibility of hope, when we live in the understanding of peace, and when we give love. The joy that is Christmas, the birth of the Christ, happens all the time, every minute of the day. So as the days get shorter and the darkness seems to close in, we light the candle for joy to remind ourselves of the power and the presence within us. And then we celebrate the season with newfound glee. Joy to the world, the Savior is here and has been here all along. And the Bible verse to that is, for unto us a child is born, unto us son is given. And that's Isaiah 9:6.
Thanks, Chris. Another costume change. There we go.
Now I
Chris,
started joining the fun.
That's right. So now both of us are changing costumes. Excellent. Well, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. And we will see you a little bit later. And the costume change for the moment is, I can't remember if I wore this one yet. There may be some repeats, but this is another Christmas sweater, another Christmas bracelet, and a change of earrings, and of course the candy cane head. So there you are. And as we continue to check in, let's go ahead and say hello to some wonderful folks here. We've got a lot of folks checking in this morning. So Karen and Chris. Karen again, letting us know about the music. What a beautiful day. Hi, Pat. Jerry came to our drive-through. Beth, Mike, the girls, Mary Ellen. So much love for you, Tatiana, Carolyn, Ruth, Dallas, Jeanette, Tanya, the Bostons, Jeanette again, Christine, Ann. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Remember to send me those photos of whatever fun Christmas wear you have. If we were there at the church, I'd be getting to see it all. So a thumbs up on the hair for Chris. Thanks, Ron. So good morning. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Mark. Good to see you. And it's wonderful. Love the Santa hat, the candy canes. We're having a lot of fun here. So welcome. And in that spirit then of coming together, let's do some Christmas music. I know you've been wanting a little Christmas music. So this is one that I think most of us know. I'll do my best. Let's sing a couple verses of O Little Town of Bethlehem. O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wandering love. O morning stars together proclaim thy holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, on peace and peace to all on earth. Good morning, folks. A few more good mornings from people joining us here. Hi, Angela, and probably Molly somewhere in the background. We're having some fun here. And a couple more. There we go. Yes, we've got the meows going on. So good to see Dee. So good to see Dee. All right. So this little town of Bethlehem now transforms into our time of meditation. I invite you now to gently settle in then. Oh, for this sacred time that we love to share together here in unity. This time of meditation, especially here in the Christmas season, a few days away from the changing of the light, from knowing something new, the excitement of Advent heightens. And I take that joy and that zeal, that anticipation into meditation now. For all the things that bring such happiness to me, for all the things that can. I let those be in my heart during this meditation, to focus on joy, and to go beyond focusing on it, to actually experiencing joy. Yes, this is a time of quiet, turning in, letting go, breathing. And today we add a little spice of joy. So that we remember that joy and happiness, excitement, they're part of this existence, part of the Christmas story. They're part of me. I meditate on this idea and this truth of joy in me. In whatever way I tap into joy. Let me do that now in blissful silence. And so it is as we enter the silence. Joy. Joy down deep in my soul. This joy goes with me now as I go out into the world. This joy is what says namaste to the people that I greet. The joy in me greets the joy in you. Because it's the truth of who we are. And since we all possess it, it can be a place of common connection between all people. The joy of the season, the joy of the Christ, the joy of the truth of you. And so it is. Amen. We're going to go ahead and light the Advent candle. This is the next outfit change. My favorite Christmas necklace. Lots of baubles, a shirt, some new earrings. And so let's go ahead and light the candle today for joy. So we've already lit 3 candles. And today, actually, leave that one. We leave the Christ candle. And we take this candle for joy. I light this candle for joy. I light this candle for the truth that joy is present everywhere. I'll take another moment to just enjoy everything that we've set up here on our Advent table. It's been a little bit different every week, just to bring some of the different elements of the season, some of the things that we enjoy that are a little bit different. And now, Christmas joy. You've had a moment to experience that in your meditation and to look into that deeply. What is Christmas joy for you? How do you experience Christmas joy? Where have you found it? In what events? In what thoughts? In what relationships? In what hobbies? Where do you find joy the easiest to come forward? Something to contemplate in the Christmas season. Is there joy in a hospital room? This is where her journey began around the Thanksgiving holiday this year. When COVID struck and she had some complications from it, and unfortunately, she became one of those who found herself in the hospital. And she sounded like this when she called me. Reverend Elizabeth, it's me. She could barely talk, and they were concerned that she would go into ICU, and I admit, even my faith was a little scared because I could hear how fragile she was. And so this is how she spent Thanksgiving and most of the beginning of December. And then joy hit. And it was a scene that looked something like this. This wasn't her, obviously. Joy when I got the call that she was coming home. And when she called me, there had been several calls in between, and it went from talking like this to, it's me, I'm calling to let you know, and then a little stronger and a little stronger. And the joy that I felt when I got that call that she was coming home, that she was going to be out, that she had never ended up in the ICU, that was joy. I could cry right now because I know that she was close. She was close, and just one wrong turn, she might not be with us right now. And I don't know if she's watching right now. I don't know if she's well enough to. But one of the first things she said to me when she got out was, I am so grateful that you record all of these Sunday services and save them because I can't wait to catch up. That's joy. That's joy, knowing that the work that you've done here at Unity Northwest made such a difference to somebody. And that's because of all of you being part of this and supporting it. To people like Chris who come online, to Betsy who does all the office work, to Ruth who puts out the newsletter. You're helping someone like this person when they get out, that they know that we're here and that they can call us and we can pray for them. And in normal circumstances, we can visit them. I've God bumps all over. Like, that is joy for me, making a difference in the world, helping people out. And I'm sure for most of you, it feels that same way. Like, that's joy, man. That is joy. Another picture of joy for me is the member who did get another member who got COVID. And she was able to stay at home. She never ended up in the hospital, and it may have been close a few times. She was not doing well, and it hit her hard, and it's still hitting her today. But the fact that she didn't have to go into the hospital, that she turned a corner, that's joy. And I don't know if she's watching either, but I am so joyful for how many recoveries that we've had. Carolyn is on the line, and she is one of those. So I am joyful for every moment of life, for every day of life, or continues, for every story that doesn't end up the worst story, but gives us a little bit of hope. And the Bible tells us that the joy of the Lord is your strength, from the book of Nehemiah. Take that in. The joy of the Lord is your strength. There's that power strength that we speak of in Unity. The joy of the Lord is your strength. What an interesting way to think about joy as strength. And even as I say the word strength, my body shifts, my back straightens. Strength. Steadfastness. Joy is a habit. To be in steadfast joy, to continue to choose joy, and to know joy is possible when we're suffering. Those moments happen. It's not all joy all the time, but that quality of joy is always there. And it's waiting just for the next corner that we turn in our consciousness. That even when we are struggling with things, there are so many things that we can also be joyful. All those small things that you give gratitude for in your gratitude journals, and even the big things. I call that everyday joy. How to bring everyday joy into your life. Even when there isn't something big waiting around the corner, or something that you can say, oh my gosh, this is so life-changing because it's so big. Those things don't happen every day. But small things happen every day. And in reality, there is no difference in size. The Course in Miracles says there is no difference in miracles. Miracles are the changing of our consciousness. So choosing joy. There isn't small, there isn't big, there is joy. And simply seeing a person wheeled out of a hospital can be the same joy that you experience at the end of a war, at the end of a big illness, when you finally find that job. Those big moments, those are great, and I love them. And if I'm waiting for them, I may have some dark days. So now, when I have an opportunity, when I'm doing well-ish, wherever I'm at, I can choose to say, let me build that habit. Let me practice joy a little bit more. And you can do it in some of the simplest ways. At Christmas time, this is one way to do it. Fun sweaters, Christmas clothes. Clearly, that's one that works for me. It may not work for you, but it does work for a lot of people. When I walk down the street with some of this stuff on my head, oh my goodness, you just can't even imagine the looks that I get. So if I bring a little bit of joy, that's great. And there are so many of these, you know, all you have to do is just a search for ugly sweaters, which I have to say I take issue with, because come on, folks, There's no ugly Christmas sweaters. They're all beautiful, all of them. So the tackier, the better. And yeah, this is me, obsessive Christmas disorder. Definitely. You know that about me. This is what is in Arturo's box under the tree. Just don't tell him. Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish I could find that sweater. Here's another one that I love. She's a mantle. This brings me joy. If I worked with this woman, I bet she would bring me a little bit of joy every day. The creativity of that. You see what she's got? Pictures on her arms, the flames on her stomach, stockings underneath. And this may be my favorite. So there's joy everywhere. There's joy everywhere when we're looking for it and when we're making it. You know, you could roll your eyes at all the silliness. That's an option. Or you could go with the fun of it. Like, isn't that great that that creativity came forward from that person and that they show the love and the strength to go out into public with whatever it is they're doing? Or comedians, or actors, or singers, or dancers, or artists, or kids being kids. People doing what people do brings joy. It's just that simple. Without even thinking about it, simply being your wonderful self brings joy out into the world. And our Unity teachers tell us, Dana Gatlin is a Unity teacher, and she says, happiness, pure joy, is from within. I know you all know that. It is a spiritual entity, a free, inalienable, untouchable gift of God. It doesn't depend on things. You don't have to make it. It is. Joy is. Love is. Compassion is. It's all here. We just draw it out. And another wonderful Unity teacher, Mary Kupferle, puts it this way in How to Let, no, God Will See You Through. Her seminal book, God Will See You Through. Joy is your gift from God. It's not dependent on what happened 10 years ago, a month ago, yesterday, 5 minutes ago. It doesn't depend on the past. It belongs to you now. Whether you know it or not, you have it. It's yours now to discover, use, exercise, and bring into expression. It's the old, you had it all along. Oh, I wish things would happen. I wish things would change. Then I could be joyful. Let me be joyful and let me see what things happen and what things change and how I change. Nothing has to change around me, but miraculously it does. You know that. You know, if you have ever applied a truth teaching, that when you apply it first, everything around you is different. That's how God works. And every one of us can learn to make joy a habit. From May Rowland, who ran Silent Unity for years and years, Reverend May, a powerful spiritual teacher, is telling us it's a habit. It's a habit to get into. So in whatever way you can bring joy and silliness and openness and zeal and excitement, you can go ahead and do that. And you have so many inspiring examples of that in the Bible. Last week I shared about Mary and Elizabeth and the joy that they held together as they both began their pregnancies. And that was a great example of love that came together. And again, this picture of them laughing together as sisters, or cousins, excuse me, but it almost feels like a sisterly relationship. And what do we learn from that story? What do we see happens? Well, there's a visit that is made. There's a connection that's made. And of course, right now, we're not able to do that in the way that we used to. But how can you visit others right now? Yesterday, I had the fun of delivering a few packages to some friends. That's a way to get out. Just a drive-by, come to the window, wave, let's say hi, a Zoom call, a phone call, an email, a text, whatever it is, a tag on Facebook, whatever it is. Because sometimes what happens, especially as it's dark and it's cold and it's coming up to Christmas and we don't have anyone to spend it to, we're waiting for people to call us. I know. And wouldn't that be great? But what if you're the one who calls? What if you're the one who makes the trip to the pregnant woman and blesses her? Like this image that, again, so inspires me. Pure joy, pure love, pure connection. That's a real gift. Here's another great example of joy. Look at the people in your life and consider their stories. This is my friend Ken, and I've shared his story a few times because it's one of the most powerful stories I know of. 2 dads with no kids. That's how the story starts. And they tried for years. So many adoptions came close and fell through, and they were heartbroken, and they started again. And then lo and behold, when they told their story one more time, a woman came forward and said, "I'll have a baby for you. I'm good at having babies. I like having babies. I want you to have a baby." And that's how their daughter came to be. And before that, they had had a foster son that they didn't know would turn into their adopted son. And now he and his girlfriend are part of the family. And then when you thought that was enough, they really wanted a little one to be a brother or a sister for their daughter. And sure enough, after all these years, an adoption came through for them and their family was complete. That's joy. So if I want a moment of joy, I think about my friend Ken. And I think about the miracles that came to him and the craziness of his family right now and how much they love it. You have never seen 2 such appreciative parents when it takes that long to get the kids. That's joy. Sometimes the story turns out that way, and that's joy. And that's why there's so much to learn from the Christmas story. So much to learn from this image of the parents and the baby, the joy that comes. And for those of you who are parents, oh boy, I can't even imagine what that joy is like. And grandparents, when you hear that your child's going to have one. And even though I don't have that firsthand, what I do have is nieces and nephews and a husband and watching all my friends have kids and grandkids and looking at images like this to keep me grounded and to remember this is an amazing act of joy when a child comes forth. And that's why I love to turn to the Christmas story at this time of year. We didn't read it when I was growing up, but years ago, I tell this story quite often, that I was getting my nails done and the nail technician was saying how they had this great tradition in her family that they pulled out the big, engraved Bible, not like this one, and they would read the story. And I thought, well, that's crazy. Really? You do that? People pull out the Bible and read it. What a concept. And so since then, around Christmas time and on Christmas Day, I love to pull it out and just read the story. It's these stories that we love hearing over and over again. Oh. And so from Matthew chapter 2, "And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." And so the Magi went out, and when they heard the king, they set out, and there, ahead of them, went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They were overwhelmed with joy. And again, picturing this scene, I can just imagine what that would have been like to come and to see this out in the night, if indeed that's how it happened. But it's the way we tell the story. So what the heck? It's a beautiful story of a child being born no matter what. And the joy that we can all feel with that. Take a moment and picture yourself there. Picture yourself there in that scene and that amount of joy. Wow. Such joy. And one of the things that brings a lot of joy these days as well is grandparents taking care of their grandkids these days, especially during COVID, helping out parents and playing more of a role. And one of my friends does that. She and her husband play a really big part in helping their daughter and son-in-law take care of their little guy. And as I was talking with her this week, she was talking about the joy of taking care of him and going to the park and putting his little lawnmower out so that he can pretend that he's mowing the lawn and all of these things. And they're amazing in the pictures they post. But this is what's bringing her the most joy this year. An at-home COVID rapid test. And she said to me, as she was holding back tears, that the best news that she had heard this year was that she was going to be able to have a little 4-year-old boy come over and be able to take this test and find out if he could play with her grandson. And for the first time in 10 months, her little grandson will play with a child his age. Because it's not the same as with grandparents. They're bigger, they're taller, they're different. They're your grandparents. And she was holding back tears at the thought of her grandson just being able to play with a little boy. That's what meant so much to her. Christmas joy would look like this.
My friend, you are just adorable.
That's Christmas joy for my friend. That's Christmas joy that I see for every kid out there, for all of us who are going to be able to do things hopefully next year. Christmas joy, simple things, hugging a friend. And Christmas joy used to look like this for me. Maybe it did for you too. It was sitting down with the Sears catalog. I think I even remember this cover and going through it and finding everything that I wanted that I could get, and then giving the lists to my parents to give to Santa. I do have to say that this list is a little incomplete. In my list, it was cross-referenced with the page in the Sears catalog so Santa could find it quickly. And I'm not kidding. And that's what joy was all about at Christmas back then. And now this is what Christmas looks like to me. It's a heck of a lot more about the giving than the getting. And that's true every day, not just on Christmas Day. And so when I went around yesterday and I was handing out my packages, one of the favorite things that I do to bring joy to my life is to create these little Christmas ornaments. I've been doing it for a number of years and signing them on the back so that people can have a little cinnamon piece of me for years to come, and going around and giving those out to people and not wanting anything in return, putting them in the bags of the folks that, all of you who got bags here from us at Christmas. And if you didn't, still call the office, we can get you one. But that is my greatest gift, is to give that out to people. So that's what Christmas is really about. And I know that we know that. And so the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring good news that will cause great joy for the people." There will be great joy for us this Christmas season if we choose it and if we create it. There is such joy within you. There is such joy within every situation through the challenges that we can bring it out. That's one of the beauties of this story. Love and peace and hope and joy. Joy to you this Christmas, my dears. Much joy. We'll continue to see you throughout the week with our other events. And for this moment, on this day, it's about your Christmas joy. Enjoy it.
This is one of my favorite songs from this time of year, written in 1944 and sung by Judy Garland in Meet Me in St. Louis. And I think the original lyrics are so appropriate for now. Christmas future is far away, Christmas past is past, Christmas present is here today, bringing joy that will last. Have yourself a merry little Christmas, let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas with the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were near to us will be dear to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. And have yourself a merry Christmas now.
Thank you, Megan. Oh, a voice like an angel, right? We know that's so much about her. So wonderful to have Megan with us. And now we enter into this time of gratitude, of loving our church with joy. Let's give some joy to our church. That should be what I put up for today. And as the offering basket would normally come by you in the Sunday service, today we do it a little bit differently. And as you can joyfully give, you can send a check in through the mail, use our donate button, which is up at the top in our description, or if you are really able to support us joyfully, we would really appreciate you going online and setting us up as a regular donation. That way you don't forget. It's so much easier on everybody. So we encourage you to do that. And I had someone call me this week and say that they set up an automatic payment and they said, "Oh, I can't give very much." Oh, sweethearts, never say that. Whatever you give is grateful. So give with joy. Whatever you're giving matters. And setting up an automatic payment is such a gift to yourself and to us. And the costume that goes with the giving section today, I know this is a repeat, but this is a great story about giving and receiving. I went to a chorus rehearsal with Betsy last year, and a woman was giving this away. So it was a gift to her that I took it off her hands, and I said, a Christmas vest? Heck yes, I'll take that. So this was a gift from someone I had never met before. And that's how gratitude can work. That's how prosperity can work. That when you are in the flow of giving and receiving, you are amazed at what happens in your life. And so that's the gift that we give to you each week, is that you have the gift, the opportunity to be in the flow. And right now we are continuing our I Love My Church campaign. And Linda explained to you in the last couple of weeks, what we're doing is ending the year strong, as many nonprofits do. So we've included a letter out to everybody. If you hadn't seen that, we are running this I Love My Church campaign so that we can end the year positive in our finances, and everyone can make a difference. So people have stepped forward and given an extra check. We had someone stop by this week and say she wasn't expecting a bonus, but after we've been talking about prosperity for the last few weeks, she was really thinking about it. She went into work the next day, got an unexpected bonus, came to the church and wrote a check to us for part of that bonus. And she said that connection is one that she could feel, that she knew it was because of how she had shifted her consciousness. So that is what it can be like to give generously. And at the end of the year, that's what we ask you to do. If you can consider it, this is the time to support your church at the end of the year as you think about your charitable giving. So some can give $5, and that is a huge $5. And for some, $1,000 is like nothing. So whatever it is that you can give, as you pray about it, about what your church means to you, about how much you love that we're here, and that when you get out of the hospital, which hopefully never happens, but we're here for you. We're here for you to pray with you. We're here with you to celebrate the babies and the weddings. We are here for you. So thank you for being with us. And as we take those love offerings then into our hands, I will also remind you on a financial level, that's right, I wanted to do one more reminder about tax differences this year. I don't know about you, but my eyes kind of roll when we talk about taxes, but this is really important. Whatever you give to a charity this year, even if you don't itemize, if you use the 1040 easy form, even if you don't itemize all your property tax and all of that, you get a tax deduction this year. So up to $300 comes off your taxable income this year. So there's a goal. If you can do 300, why not take advantage of that? And then if you are one of those who itemizes, you can usually only itemize up to 60% of what you make. You can itemize up to 100% of your adjusted gross income this year. So a lot more is tax deductible this year. So hey, that's a gift from the government. We'll take it. And now let's go ahead and affirm our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is with joy. Welcome to my special guest, Santa. Wow, who knew that Santa was going to show up? If you have kids, go run and get them. Santa is here. Oh my God, he's at the North Pole. Well, Santa, thank you for coming on to do our announcements. It's so great to see you. Whoops, I put you on mute. I've unmuted you. Santa, anything to say?
I wasn't expecting to speak like Santa.
Well, this is what Santa sounds like. Santa has many voices today. Santa sounds like this. So welcome, Santa, and thank you for doing our announcements. I will switch us over so that you can lead the way.
Okay, well, join us for Christmas Eve service at 6 p.m. And then after a night, I will be joining on Christmas Day at 10 a.m. So join us then. Wear your finest tops and most comfortable sweats. And then the White Stone ceremony will be taking place on Sunday, January 2nd. And you should have those white stones in your bags.
Yes, they are in the bag. There we go.
And then Don't forget, for the little ones, you want to go to the virtual Sunday school. The next one is next week at 10 a.m. And of course, next week, the topic is of infinite possibilities. Ask Reverend Elizabeth anything that you want. So that should be a good one. And remember, to read the weekly e-blasts. Videos are on YouTube if you want to catch up on anything. Donate anytime. Stay safe and be good out there, because I'm watching when you're sleeping and I know when you're awake.
Thank you, Santa. I don't know if any of the kids that were around got a chance to zip over, but are you ready for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've been running nonstop up in the North Pole, so. And
you've checked the list?
Twice.
All right. Thank you so much, Santa. Glad to have you on. Okay. And so there are a couple of losses that we want to let you know about in the community. In the last few weeks, we have a member, Anne Reggett, and many of you knew Anne, and I got the pleasure to meet her before she passed. So there will be a virtual service for Anne, who passed about a week ago, this Monday, tomorrow. So if you would like to honor Anne, there is a link up above in the description box, and it is also on our Facebook page. So remembering Anne tomorrow at 10:30 if you would like. And then also Reverend Ed Townley, who served at Unity of Chicago, passed recently. There will be a virtual service for him in January. There is a link that will be sent out eventually. We will post it here as soon as we know about it. But if you would like to mark that on your calendar, and we remember these two souls, Anne and Ed, as they pass over, and we hold their friends and their families, especially in our hearts at this time. So difficult to lose someone around the holidays. Anne's daughter's name is Gail, and she has a sister, Chris, and now I'm Kathy. So I hold all of them in prayer. And then for all the churchgoers that knew Reverend Ed, who was of service to them, our hearts go out to you as well. And we'll want to just pop over to the Zoom link. It's up above as well. We'll see you there with our prayer chaplains in just a moment. And always remember how amazing you are. You are truly an amazing being. And I want to shout out again to Chris and to Tatiana. Thank you so much. Tatiana, will you play us out again this week so that I can put the rest of the comments up? Will you play us something fun? That's a yes? Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and happy, happy holidays. Take it away, Tatiana.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I didn't go fast enough. Lots of love for Megan. Shout out for Cindy. Lots of love for Santa. Blessings.